Welcome to today's episode of the J&J podcast. I'm Jamie.
This is Jameson.
We want to welcome all of our listeners in. Thank y'all for rocking with us. We've got some very interesting topics this week. Obviously, we are literally in the midst of March Madness, Sweet 16, and that's where we're going to actually kick things off. On tap first for today is college basketball. We're going to give you our Sweet 16 predictions and some updates about that, and then kind of move on from there. So, Jameson, let's start there. You
Yeah,
want to start with your Sweet 16 predictions? Talk about who's left in the Sweet 16, and then we can discuss who our predictions are going to be.
and sure. And do you want me to do that for both the men and women?
Oh yeah, that'd be
Okay,
cool.
cool. Yeah. So what I'll
Yeah.
do, what I'll say is first for the men's side,
Okay.
nothing's really changed for me. Like I picked originally I picked Houston to win it all, and I'm still gonna stand on that. I will say, and I hate to say this because I'm a big Carolina Tar Heels fan, but the other team I think that's if it's not Houston, it's going to be Duke. And what's funny is they actually, if they both win this weekend, they'll end up matching up against each other eventually before the national championship game comes. So, I feel like whoever wins between Houston and Duke, if they end up playing each other, that's who's going to be who ends up winning it all. I think both programs have been playing phenomenal basketball. And the reason why I just kind of I side with Houston more just because their ability to be able to shoot on the perimeter, their 3-point shooting. I haven't seen this good of shooting, like I said on last week's episode, since the Golden State Warriors when they had Kevin Durant. That's really what it reminds me of. And
Yeah.
like I've said for the longest, Kevin Sampson is also due for one, man. Like he's gotten so close every single year. It's just I'm really rocking with Houston. I'm hoping that they win, but if not them, I think the favorite right now is Duke. And then on the women's side, I'm devastated. JuJu Watkins is my favorite female basketball player right now. And to see her go down like that, man, like USC was my pick whenever I actually filled out my bracket. I had them winning it all. And that kind of brings up the question I know people have been talking about on Twitter and on social media. Can USC win the national championship without her? Absolutely
Heck no.
not. I was about to say heck no. And that's no disrespect to the USC roster. Like Kiki Area Finn, she's an All-American type talent. She had over 30 points last night. Really good performance. Kennedy Smith has, been coming into her own. Like they have really good players, but JuJu Watkins is literally the best player in the country. And it's like losing that. It's like I don't see them like if they have to match up against a team like UConn or UCLA or even Notre Dame being able to just knock off a juggernaut like that, not having the best player in the country. And I think what also gets discounted, what also gets overlooked is for JuJu Watkins. Of course, she can score the ball with the best of them, but she's a very good defender as well. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that tends to get overlooked. So I think USC can win their next round game, but after that, there's no way out of this one. You're done.
You're done.
But my prediction right now on the women's side, there's two teams I think that can win it all. It's either going to be South Carolina or UConn in my eyes. Of course, I've learned to never doubt God and never doubt Don Staley. So that's why, first of all, I'm picking South Carolina. And then my second pick for UConn is just the way they've been playing. Like Paige Beckers has been on another level the past couple of games. Even last night, it's just like she's really been more aggressive on the offensive end. It's like if she's getting 30 plus points like that on like an efficient shooting stretch, they're not really going to lose games like that in my opinion. They're just very versatile and they play really good team basketball. But those are my predictions on both the men's side and the women's side. What about you though, sir?
Yeah. So you're a biter because I have Houston winning as well. I think we mentioned it a little bit last week. I am do rock with Kelvin, and his name is Kelvin.
Excuse me,
It's not
Kelvin
Kevin.
Sampson. Yeah,
That's right, Kelvin. Just like it's not Gonzaga, it's Gonzaga.
yeah, my fault on that.
He made that abundantly clear. So and that's part of the reason I rock with him too. I like his straightforwardness. I'm going with Houston. To your point, if Duke makes it past Arizona,
Yeah,
and that's an if because I'm just listen. Caleb Love is the Duke Destroyer. That's my new nickname for him.
facts.
Um, and it'll be interesting to see if he beats Duke again.
I'm about to say 'cause they
I'm
beat
like
him earlier this season.
exactly.
And Duke.
And that's right, in Cameron Indoor. Absolutely. So it'll be interesting to see if Duke gets past Arizona. If they do, I'm with you. I think that Duke stands a very good chance, if not Houston, if it's not Houston. So I'm still going to rock with Houston at this point, but unfortunately, I have to admit, Duke looks really, really strong. They look
Yeah,
like they might be the best team.
they do.
Um, but there are also nights where if Proctor's not playing well, and Sion James isn't playing well,
They're vulnerable.
they're vulnerable.
Hmm.
Knipple and Cooper Flag, they've been for the most part pretty consistent. Proctor has been inconsistent.
But to your point, the
Actually,
games where he does play good, it's like they don't lose.
they do not lose.
Yeah,
If he plays well, I think he's honestly the X factor.
I
If he
agree.
plays well, they don't lose.
I agree.
Um, so, and then to very quickly on the women's side, um, I it's just hard to pick against Dawn Staley, man.
It
It just
is.
is. I know Paige Beckers is doing her thing. I watched a little bit of the NC State game. They look kind of scary because Zanaya James is,
Yeah,
man.
she tough, man.
Listen, she reminds me a lot of, and I'm gonna go old school. She reminds me of like a female Kenny Anderson. Um,
Hmm.
you know what I mean?
That handle
Left hand,
monster.
that hand of monster. Man, she did an in and out the other day. I was like, oh my goodness. Whew. Then pulled up with the left.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I
Um,
ain't seen it in and out like that since the burger chain. No troll.
exactly. I'm good one. I see what you did there. But no, so I'm not. Look, I'm not an NC State fan. Carolina is actually still in it. I like the way our girls are playing, our women are playing. And so, but it's hard to bet against Dawn Staley,
It
bro.
is. And they're
It,
clicking at
it,
the right time. Ever since they had that UConn loss, like they've just taken it to a whole nother level. Like
they
they've
did.
been click. Honestly, that loss was a blessing in disguise, in my opinion. Like, cause
Yeah.
ever since then they've been on a tear.
And keep in mind, they're doing it without their true center,
Yeah,
Watson.
yeah.
I mean, she's done for the season.
It's
So,
just that whole roster though. You got Pow Pow. You got you have Malaysia for Wiley off the bench. She
yeah,
starts in any other program in D1. Like,
absolutely.
so it's like
Raven Johnson, who
Raven
is a
Johnson,
lockdown defender.
Tessa Johnson. It's like they're the
Yes,
Chloe Kitts. They're
Chloe Kids.
stacked, man.
By the way, she has elevated her level of
And
play.
that's the thing.
Oh,
You remember? I remember we talked about that after they won last year. We were like, man, like she's gonna be the X factor for them next season. I thought she was
yep.
gonna be better, but not this good. Like she's tough.
Yes. Yeah. And if you look at her numbers, it's like, okay, she's not putting up 20 and 10,
But it's
but what
effective
she
numbers.
that's right. It impacts winning. That's
Exactly.
the way I describe it. It
Yep.
actually impacts winning. So USC is and the USC in South Carolina.
Yeah.
Um, they're my pick on the women's side. So I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on the Juju Watkins injury. I feel bad for her. I
Yeah.
really do. Um, but I think it's an opportunity for her. She'll come back even stronger. Sometimes when you have those kinds of injuries, people are like, "Yeah, I don't know if you'll come back." She has such a dynamic game
Yep.
that it will actually give her the opportunity to improve her game in other areas.
This could force her to
Um,
become an even better shooter too, which is like if that
that's what I'm
happens,
saying.
Lord have mercy.
And look, develop a fadeaway,
Yep.
be able to play a little bit more in the post. That's what and then you'll be able to actually she'll actually be able to sit and watch the game and analyze the game and see areas where she can improve.
And she
That's
can
what
become
always
even more
happens with
efficient
Juju.
too. Because it's like
That's right.
there are games where she takes a lot of shots.
Agreed.
And I'm like, if she cuts that in half and still is able to produce 25 a game, it's like she'll be able to pick her spots and she won't have to do as much. She can play more off the ball as well. Like
That's what I was gonna say. She
so.
can pick and choose her
Hmm.
spots. Exactly.
Yes, sir.
Um, so transitioning because there was obviously some pretty important news today. Everybody knows that we're Tar Heel fans. I'm a Tar Heel, and if you are in the rich household, if you're not a Tar Heel fan, then you're not a part of the rich household. So there was some pretty significant portal news that came out today. Elliot Cadeau entered the transfer portal. Jalen Washington also entered the transfer portal. So Carolina is now down a point guard, their main point guard, a 5-star point guard. they're also down Jalen Washington. The only true big man that we actually had, who played significant minutes this year. So it's man, it's a lot. It's a lot to digest. And
Hugh, I'm sorry, brother.
man, listen, this might be the most important offseason
Oh, it is.
in Carolina, in recent Carolina history.
I
I'll just
agree.
put it that way, simply because of how the landscape has changed.
Yeah.
And the days of Jameson, and you and I talked a little bit about this. The days of Carolina relying on the Carolina name, those are done.
Yep. You got to bring out
W-
that. You got to bring out that checkbook, brother.
Absolutely, bring that cheddar, that
Yep.
guac.
Yep.
That's what players want to see. Listen, yes, Michael Jordan played here. Yes, Vince Carter played here. Jerry Stackhouse, Rasheed Wallace. I can go on and on and on. They all played here. The landscape has changed. The days of getting a guy that was a borderline 5 star, maybe a really, really strong 3 star, and Carolina had the chance to develop them, that doesn't work
Yeah.
anymore. It's a wrap.
Because the
It's a
players are going
wrap.
to leave. The players, if they're
That's right.
not getting paid and they're not playing and producing, they're out. Like,
That's right.
you remember we were talking about it earlier. There was over 700 players that entered the transfer portal between women and men's college basketball yesterday. It's like, that's unheard of.
That's insane.
And to put it into perspective, too, it's just like, it's only going to continue to get worse. Because,
Yes.
like, you got to think about it like this. This just also goes back to the ACC. The ACC is not a basketball powerhouse anymore. It's starting to become the SEC. And the reason why is because of all the dollars that they spend for their athletic programs. It's that
Yep.
simple. Like,
Yep.
Carolina, if they're smart, they're going to have the money. You got to go out there and spend it. Like, we can't, and I know people are going to say, well, we shouldn't be spending $6 million on one player to stay for one season. Look what Duke just did with Cooper Flag. That's the best investment that they've made in the last couple of years as far as NIL goes. The money that he's generating for the program, and they have a chance to literally win it all. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It's like,
Yes.
and I get it. We have Caleb Wilson coming in next year, but it's like, who's going to be passing him the ball? Hubert?
Yeah.
That's not
the
bad
question
ball.
now. It's
And
literally
Dad,
bad ball.
we talked about it earlier. This is such a bad look for Hubert Davis because it's like R.J. Davis is leaving. This was a chance for literally Elliot Cadeau to just take the reins at point guard, not have to share the offensive load with R.J. Davis, the whole nine. But here's what I'm gonna say for Elliot Cadeau. I've always been a fan of his game, but I don't care where he goes. If you're a 6-foot guard and you can't shoot the three ball, you're done. I don't care where you go. I don't care if you go to Kentucky, Alabama, any of these top tier programs. If you're a 6-foot guard and you're shooting 19% from three, you're not going to be successful. I'm sorry. So of course I hate losing Elliot Cadeau, but at the same time I'm like, if Hubert can go out there and get a point guard that can shoot, we'll be just fine. But that's the problem. Is Hubert going to be able to do that along with getting a big man? So far it's like he's proven that might not be the case. And then to make matters worse, who's to say Ian Jackson comes back? Who's to say Seth Trimble comes back? Who's to say Drake Powell comes back? Hubert Davis, get it together, or I promise you, bro, you're gonna be out of high school. I'm sorry. Rev up those fries.
Listen, very valid points.
And I'm
I
rooting
would
for him,
agree.
man. It hurts.
Oh yeah, no question. I mean, here's the thing. When I think, and that's why Jim Tanner was brought in.
Yeah.
So let's see what he can actually do, because Caleb Wilson, literally when he was being interviewed and before he made his decision, he actually mentioned Elliot Cadeau because he saw himself playing with Elliot Cadeau.
Yep.
So so the 5-star that you're bringing in, you now have to say to him, yeah, we know Cadeau's not here, what follows that but is going to be pause. What follows that but is going to be very important so that Caleb Wilson hears what he needs to hear.
Yep. It stays.
And stays and decides he still wants to come to play in Chapel Hill.
And Dad, here's what I'm gonna say to you. Remember I said this earlier whenever we were talking earlier today. What makes this an even worse look for Hubert Davis is it's like, bruh, Bill Belichick about to do what he needs to do this first season as the football coach. And Lord knows it's Courtney Banghart. Lord have mercy. She just put on a masterclass when it comes to recruiting, lineups. Like we literally lost Deja Kelly and got better. It's like, bruh, and think about it. Like, she's got some good talent, but it's not like we got the best recruits in the country. She just knows what
True.
she knew how to go out there. She knew the type of players that she wanted, and it's been a perfect fit, and everybody is gelled. And Courtney
Yeah.
Bankart is setting it up for Carolina women's basketball to be a constant powerhouse now and a constant threat in the next couple of years, 4 to 5 seasons. Hubert Davis is like, brother, you might not make it past this offseason. You keep it up.
I know, man. I know. That's the scary part. I'm like, this is really,
It's
I
make or
mean, I really
break.
got this is a make or break year in my opinion. And so I want to give Jim Tanner an opportunity. They obviously have to sit down, put their heads together, figure it out. But it's got to be a point guard who, number one, is not, uh, um, 5'11", 5'10".
And he can't be a
Um,
liability shooting the ball either.
he's got to
Because
be
you
able
now
to shoot
not
the
you don't
ball.
have R.J. Davis to bail you out now. You
That's
can't
right.
rely on that.
Here's what I'll say. All the jokes that were being made about Armando Bacot being there for 25 years or whatever, the truth of the matter is you don't know what you have until
Until
it's
you
gone.
don't exactly.
You don't miss a good thing until it's gone. That's what I'm trying to say.
And it was
And
glaring we didn't have him this year.
it's glaring. He covered a lot of, flaws.
Yep, I agree.
So we'll see how that plays out. But
Clock is
man,
ticking.
yeah. I mean, and I think now the transfer portal is only for a month.
Yeah, and that's the
Um,
thing. Like, and what sucks is now it's like, bro, you can't recruit high schoolers no more. Like that period
yeah,
is done. Like everybody,
that's
all these
right.
top recruits have already made their commitments. It's like you better make sure you keep the one that you did get. To your point, in
Yeah,
Caleb Wilson, it's like that's not a
yes.
guarantee.
Well, the other part is, I mean, listen, Dixon could potentially turn into Marcus Page because I mean, I know he's good, I know he can shoot, but I don't know if what is it? I think he was a 4 star
Yeah, 4 star.
and a fringe 5 star, like the high end 4 star. I know he can shoot, and from what I've seen, he can certainly run an offense. But is that who we want as a freshman coming in
Exactly. That's a
to
lot
have
of
to do
pressure.
it? It's a lot of pressure,
I mean, you saw what just
especially
happened with
given
Cadeau. He was a
right.
five-star, one of the best players in the nation, and he couldn't even average over 10 points this year. Now that's not all.
Exactly.
That's not all Hubert Davis' fault. It's like, brother, you need to get in the gym and work on your shooting mechanics.
Thank you.
Like I said,
Yes,
19% from three is unacceptable. I don't care what
completely.
position. And at this point, it's like it don't really matter what position you play. Like you can be a power forward if you shoot 19% from three. You're not getting a lot of burn. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're over there passing water bottles. That's what you're doing. I mean, let's just be honest. You and the equipment dude become real close.
Facts.
You the equipment dude and the strengthening and conditioning coach. Y'all know each other quite well.
Y'all peas
Y'all
in the
go out to dinner
pod,
on a
man.
regular basis.
Facts.
So, all right, look, shifting
Yeah.
completely, a hard shift.
Yes, sir.
There was some in the NFL, some quick free agency updates that happened today. Just wanted to get your thoughts. I
Sure.
know Jameis Winston signed
Giants
with the
last week.
Giants.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and there were a couple other ones, Jameson. If you want, go ahead and take those.
Yeah, I'll make it quick. Like I'll just give my brief thoughts and let you do the same. But Jameis Winston ended up signing with the Giants. He's not the only one quarterback going there either. They announced like an hour ago Russell Wilson is going to the Giants. And I'll be honest, I like the moves, but it's kind of concerning to me because I wanted Shador Sanders to go to the Giants and get drafted by
Thank
them.
you.
So it's like now it's like if you draft Shador, you now have a quarterback room with Jameis, Russell Wilson, and Shador Sanders. Just like that's gonna be tough. That's gonna be
Yes.
that's gonna be very hard to navigate. So that Russell Wilson move kind of shows me that they might not end up drafting Shador. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Or they could be taking the route of drafting Shador and trying to let him develop. It's like that would be good for him to be able to learn under Jameis and Russell Wilson for a season. But they're also setting this up to be a similar situation to what the Steelers did when they had Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. It's like there was so much drama with that throughout this past 2 seasons. So I don't know what the Giants are doing per usual. We'll see what happens with that. And then the last move was, which I really love, is Stephon Diggs to the Patriots. I think that's an experience. Stephon Diggs still has a lot of gas left in the tank, and I think that's a really strong weapon for Drake May. Heading into next season. So your thoughts though?
Yep, I'm just as confused as you are. I
Yeah.
have no idea what the Giants are
Hey,
doing.
Dad, but with all due respect, this is the same GM that let Saquon Barkley walk, so we can't really be surprised.
No, I'm not. I'm not shocked. I'm
Yeah.
just confused.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, it doesn't surprise me. It's just like once again, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Basically, what you're doing is you're setting it up now for, um, somebody like the Raiders to take him, because I know the Raiders got what's his face, from Seattle, right?
You talking about Geno Smith? Yeah.
Geno Smith.
Hmm.
Yeah, they got him. So I think that that's going to be their quarterback for at least the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
But if Shador Sanders sees this, he's like, I don't know that I want to be drafted by them. I'd maybe rather go to somewhere like Vegas and sit behind Geno Smith for 2 or 3 years, or at least a couple of years, and then, I mean, think about it. That's what happened with, yeah,
Patrick
Patrick
Mahomes,
Mahomes,
yeah. Aaron
and
Rodgers.
it's what happened with Jordan Love.
Yep, exactly.
You know what I mean? So if that's, by actually going out and getting both of them, I'm like,
I don't get
yeah,
it.
it doesn't make good sense to me.
Here's what I'm gonna say too for Shador. At this point, and it could well enough happen now, especially with the moves the Giants just made that you alluded to. I want to see that brother go to the Browns. And I know the Browns have had a lot of problems in the past when it comes to quarterbacks, but I think Shador can go there and actually be successful. They need some juice in that organization. Like I know they just got Myles Garrett back, but you bring somebody in like Shador that like he's easy to market. It's like if he's successful there, that's your guy. You get what I'm saying? Like
I do.
he
I
he,
do.
he could literally have a similar scenario to like what happened with C.J. Stroud or Jaden Daniels, or like even what's happening with Bryce Young. The second half of last season, like that could be their
Becomes
guy
the
in my
face of the
opinion.
organization.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree with that. I just don't know if you pass over Travis Hunter to get Shador.
Which and
I'm just
also
not
too, I
sure.
look at it like this. I don't think Dion wants that brother going to Cleveland. With all due
Oh, I'm sure
respect.
he does not. Absolutely. That's why I mentioned Vegas because,
Yeah.
look, I'd go down. I'd wait to let him get drafted by Vegas and maybe sit for 2 years
And that's a great
rather than.
situation to be able to learn under Geno Smith. To your point, and Pete Carroll will be
It,
there.
and that's what I'm
And
saying.
think about it.
So
Who's also one of the owners of the Raiders? Tom Brady. That's
Tom
that
Brady,
Tom Brady
yeah,
monster.
exactly. That's that Tom Brady monster. Diggs, love it, love that move. Drake May, I think, is the future. He is their franchise quarterback. I've seen the glimpses. We knew coming out of Carolina, we knew what a lot of folks didn't know.
Yeah,
That Drake May has that it factor,
he's special.
and he's special. And I think getting somebody like Stephon Diggs, he'll be able to really showcase it next year. I love that move. I really had hoped that until, of course, the DeAndre Hopkins, move happened. I'd really hoped that Stephon Diggs might have ended up with the Ravens. Now that's wishful thinking,
Yeah,
and I know they ended up with DeAndre Hopkins, but I really like this move for Drake May.
me too.
Absolutely, yeah. So, all right, transitioning again to the NBA, and let's talk a little bit about our Lakers because they've been struggling as of late.
Yep, three straight
Um,
losses.
3 losses. It's not a good look. I know, Rui is coming, slowly coming back. LeBron just came back, what was it, 2 games ago?
Yeah, you're saying.
Um, so they're still figuring some things out. But honestly, it isn't even about the chemistry. It's about lack of effort
Yeah,
um, on defense. Like, how do we go from being one of the best, if not the best defensive team for an extended stretch to now? I mean, teams who really don't score the ball well are demolishing us.
yep.
Like that part is mind-boggling. So I don't know if it's, we're tired, we're kind of, smelling ourselves because we've got a good, position in the rankings, but they got to get it together quickly. And I know you have strong feelings about that.
Yeah, I'll keep it brief for the Lakers. It's just they got to get back to giving effort on defense. It's like that's what was allowing us to win a lot of these games because until recent, we were still winning games in spite of Luka not getting 30 plus points, 35 points, 40-point games. Same for LeBron. It's like we play really good team defense and it led us being able to run out in transition to get easy points. It's unacceptable to give up 145 points to the Chicago Bulls. It's like that's a play-in team. And here's what I will say. Quick shout out to Kobe White, man, that Carolina basketball monster. He's now an Eastern Conference Player of the Week back-to-back weeks. And it's like to do that in the Chicago Bulls market right now, that's very impressive. He's been putting up some insane numbers. So huge shout out to Kobe White, but
And they got
still,
him on the cheap.
they
And they
did.
got him on the cheap.
They did.
Yes.
And I'll
Yep.
say this, since that Zach LaVine trade, it's like he's been able to shine more. So kudos to him.
Yep.
But back to that, it's like even with Kobe White playing like that, giving up 145 points to Josh Giddey and Matis Buzelis is like, that's unacceptable, bro. That can't happen. And then even last night, I'm watching the Orlando Magic game. Anthony Black looked like Carmelo Anthony. I'm like, bro, we ain't playing no defense. What am I
You're
watching?
right.
Like Franz Wagner had 30 plus. Same with Paulo. It's like, and I get it. They're all-star caliber players, but that's unacceptable, bro. Lack of effort on defense, like getting into foul trouble, and a lot of that was because dudes are just blowing right past, and we're just getting dumb fouls. We're not moving our feet. We're not giving any effort. So here's what I'm gonna say: the Lakers still have about 2.5 weeks to get it together, but they got to get it together quick. You don't need to be on the decline heading into the playoffs. You need to be clicking on all cylinders and giving effort, because I hate that whole mantra of, oh, well, you can just turn it on and off come playoff time. No,
Nope.
you can't. No, you can't.
Not the Lakers, you can't.
Absolutely
Nope.
not. And it's not. And people got to realize this too. We've only had Luka for about a month and a half, so I get it. They're still figuring things out, but there's no excuse to not give effort on defense. There's
Absolutely.
no excuse. I don't care who's out on the floor. Like, you give some effort, please.
Please.
Speaking of effort, though, shout out Bronny James.
Mm.
Stephen A. Smith, where you at now, brother? 17 points against the Bucks, 7 of 10 shooting, crossed over Giannis, getting praise from Doc Rivers and Giannis after the game. Shout out Bronny James. Then even on top of that, last night, 39 points in the G League. That brother can play basketball. And here's what I'm going to say. If you aren't rooting for Bronny James, don't hop on that train now, bro. I've been on that train since he was at USC. I've been on that Bronny James train since he was at Sierra Canyon.
I was going to say Sierra Canyon.
And here's what I'm going to say. Yeah, and here's what I'm going to say why I'm really happy for Bronny. It's like, I couldn't imagine, first of all, dealing with the pressure of being LeBron's son. But people got to realize that he had a heart attack on the court, like literally less than 2 years ago. It's like, he could have passed away. You get what I'm saying? It's like the fact that he went from that to now, exceeding expectations, getting drafted. He was the 55th pick. He's playing better than dudes that got drafted in the top 10. You get what I'm saying? It's like to see that, and on top of having to deal with the pressure of being LeBron's son, just kudos to Bronny, man. I think long term, we've been saying it for the longest, he's going to be a really good NBA player without more time to develop. And it's like, one thing I've quickly noticed from him is his confidence rises every game he plays, and I love to see it. I'm here for it.
Absolutely. I mean, you said it. I don't have a lot to add except, where the haters now.
Exactly.
I mean, it's crickets.
I mean,
literally.
he was a McDonald's All-American. People don't realize that. Like he wasn't a slouch in high school. It's like,
No.
you know what I'm saying?
All this Nepo talk, he's a Nepo baby. The only reason he's in the league, there's never been this kind of scrutiny on the 55th pick.
No.
Never.
Never.
Ever. And it's not like LeBron forced him to get into the league. This dude wasn't a McDonald's All-American before he had a heart attack.
Yes.
Like literally, like you said, had a heart attack. So I don't have a whole bunch of else to say because now Stephen A. has shifted his,
Yeah, I saw him
his
talking
approach.
about that last week. I'm like, I can't
He was
stand
like, yeah,
that.
this brother can ball. I'm like, man, be quiet. Just be quiet. You talk too much anyway. I know that's what you get paid to do, but you just talk too much.
Yeah.
So let's talk about one of your, if not your favorite player, Cade
Yeah.
Cunningham.
That Cade monster.
That Cade monster. Yeah, talk about Cade.
Here's what I'm going to say, man. And I'm praying this happens for the Detroit Pistons, whether it's this offseason or next season. But the way Cade Cunningham is playing, I've said this for years, he's a superstar right now in the NBA. And I just love to see it. It's like he's single-handedly, of course, I get it. They have real good players, Jalen Duren. They'll get Jaden Ivey back next year, and the team is clicking. But you now have literally somebody you can build around for the next decade. And I love to see it. It's like Cade, he's more efficient now. He's more confident. He's more of a vocal leader. It's like they can literally build around him now. And what I love to see is, too, it's like they're going to make the playoffs this year. Huge shout out to JB Bickerstaff, too. He's one of the coaches in the running for Coach of the Year, in my opinion, too. Him, Udoka, and Kenny Atkinson. But I just love what I'm seeing from Cade. And it's like, Here's what I'm praying that happens this offseason. Because I've been hearing rumors. If they get that Devin Booker monster and pair
Oh
him up,
my.
if they pair that Devin Booker monster up with Cade, Lord
Mm,
have mercy. I know I'm a
yeah.
Lakers fan, but I ain't gonna hold you. I'm gonna be a Pistons fan on the low. I
So I
ain't gonna
guess we're
hold you.
gonna have to make a couple of trips to Michigan, huh?
I'm about to say I might just have to go down to Flint, man. Make it happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I'm telling you,
that could be quite
that'll be
that could be quite
absolute
interesting.
cinema. Could you
It
imagine a
absolutely would.
backcourt with Lord have mercy?
On everything I love,
Oh, everything we will be there.
we will be there. On everything I love.
So I
So
love to see it, man. Kate, shout out to Kate and the Pistons.
no doubts. I have nothing to add there.
Yeah,
So we're gonna wrap up this episode with what we always do, and that's moving the needle. So Jameson, I'll let you start with what's moving the needle for you this week.
I'll keep it brief. My moving the needle is the UNC women's basketball program. It's like the fact that we're in the Sweet 16 and have a chance to go to the Elite Eight. I just huge shout out to Courtney Bancart, Utspeed, the whole team, man. Like I've just been really impressed with what I've been seeing, and it's like what makes it even sweeter is we have a chance to get to the Elite Eight by beating Duke. We lost to them a couple weeks ago, but it's like, boy, could that revenge be sweet. I know the men's program has let us down, but huge shout out to the women, man. They're exceeded expectations, man. And huge shout out to Courtney Bancard. I'm very impressed.
Well, my moving the needle is a TBD to be determined. And it's going to be whether or not the needle actually gets moved with Jim Tanner. I'm interested to see what he actually is able to do in
Yeah,
that role now as the GM because there's a lot to be done.
I agree.
Um, I didn't see Cadeau necessarily. I thought it's a possibility, but then I thought, nah, it doesn't make sense. For me, it kind of was between whether he or Seth Trimble actually stayed. Um, and I honestly thought that there was a 50-50 chance. Seth kept saying he wanted to come back, but if you look at where the holes are, he's got to really improve his jump shot in the offseason too. He started out the season shooting well, and then when he got hurt, he came back, and it was almost like, he went back to the mean like he was before. So it'll be interesting to see what Jim Tanner is able to do. That's going to be my moving the needle for this week because losing Cadeau, I I honestly felt like Jalen Washington. I mean, I wasn't shocked at all by that. A little surprised by Elliot Cadeau. So my moving the needle will be it's a TBD to see what Jim Tanner does with Carolina and the transfer portal. So all right, that's gonna wrap it for this week. We again thank all of our listeners for tuning in. We'll see you next week, same bat time, same bat place.